See, the encounter in Jhansi was 183rd. Let me remind you that UP's Encounter Raj is nothing new. From 2002 to 2008, I think of around 475 encounters which took place all over the country, 231 was with UP, number one. From 2009 to 2013, again UP topped in the number of encounters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Badlands of UP, the soil produces some kind of a mushrooming of mafias, which get a very benevolent disposition, powers that be in one regime, and then, for example, it gives a ripe, again, atmosphere, environment for encounters in the next regime.
Okay.
This is the sad part. Unless you set right the political environment which sort of supports and helps the mafia. 5 times MLA Atiq was there, 100 cases were launched, 40 cases were dropped, 8 High Court judges recused hearing. What does it show? Why won't an ordinary man clap when he is killed? Because in 2004 or 5 there is a murder, and in 2023 the prime witness is killed. Now where will the results come, and which witness will stand up to his testimony? So when your criminal justice system lies in tatters, obviously encounter killings will be celebrated, and that's the tragedy of our democracy.
What would you, as a former police officer yourself, and as somebody who's had a bird's eye view of the entire system from the Intelligence Bureau, what kind of reforms do you think that the criminal justice system needs today?
My, hundreds.
I'm sure you can do, but
hundreds.
The starting points. How do we begin reforming?
When we talk about criminal justice reforms, basically we are talking about reforms in the police, we are talking reforms in the prisons, we are talking reforms of the prosecution, and we are talking reforms of the judiciary. First of all, the decisions which are coming in 20 to 30 years, unless you do something about it, this is going to be a serious problem. How do we do it? Should the courts be digital? Should we fill up all the vacancies? Should we stop giving extended hearings whenever the accused lawyer comes and asks for a separate date? Should we have a fast track courts with a regular hearing completely? That will be one of the best reforms which we can do in the judiciary. Number 2, the prosecution. I think it's a third-rate prosecution we have. The prosecution which is, look at the lawyers who are coming from the accused side, some of the best in the land,
right,
because they have the money for whether it's the underworld, whether it's some biggest gangster, and who are the kind of lawyers which we are having from hardly anything. The police itself doesn't have proper lawyers to back them up and tell them how to, marshal evidence properly, how to put the investigation together. Then the prisons, what kind of prisons we have, where people are able to run their extortion empire which was being run by all these mafia dons. And the police, I won't like to say anything, because today the police itself is saying, please reform me. But the state governments don't want to reform. No CM wants to let go of his complete stranglehold over the police. But I will still say there are 10 or 11 points around which an unanimity can be built. For example, a softer touch, more women in police stations. Why can't you do that straight away? Better prosecution, better forensics. These are going to help the investigation
and make a stronger case
against these people. So we can begin, but the problem is that the lawmakers don't have time for this. This is a hard job. From Malimat committee to there are so many committees which have suggested reforms. But when we are talking about control over Netflix and OTT platforms, we don't have time to control, at least control the tickets given to mafias in the elections. That also is not done. So, I would just like to say in the end, the Badlands of UP, Hindi belt or entire country will keep throwing up mafias. The mushrooming of mafias will continue, another regimes will be shooting them down, and let me tell you, even in the state of UP, there are other mafias. They are still there. If you want to have zero tolerance, then you have to pursue the cases against each of them religiously with greater coordination from all the authorities concerned.
And you're saying that is not possible without political will, which you think is not
Absolutely.
going to be forthcoming.
Absolutely.
All right.